Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So 2024 brought some interesting videos and photos to this channel. So tonight's video is just going to be a compilation of several of the videos that I like, that I did the best throughout 2024. And I'll do another video where I have some of the best photos, because we did have some pretty good photos of what could be some UFOs, aka UAPs they're calling them now. So sit back, relax. It's going to be several different videos in here, and I will see you guys in a couple days when I put up some of the best photos I did in 2024. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Now, you always know that I've talked about this before. I do find the photos from probably around the late 1930s to probably mid 1970s to be some of the best UFO photos that are out there, because it was a little bit harder to fabricate this stuff and falsify any of these craft that they actually show in some of these photos you're seeing here. So in today's video, we're actually going to go back about 60 plus years back to the United States in a town called McMinnville, and is actually in Oregon. And this one's actually pretty interesting. It's been out there for a while and it went viral several times, but I just wanted to kind of touch back on this. And this is actually a pretty interesting case because we actually have eyewitness testimonies of this. So Paul and Evelyn Trent was actually farmers, and one day Evelyn was actually out in her farm, and according to a lot of the reports of this, Evelyn was out there actually attending to her rabbits on her farm, and then she actually turned around and she noticed a craft in the air, and she couldn't believe her eyes, and she ran in and got her husband Paul, and her husband Paul actually had a camera. So what Paul did was, thank God, he went in, he grabbed his camera and he went out, and they saw this craft still actually there in the sky when Paul actually went out. So luckily for us, he was able to take 2 photos of this craft. And these photos have been out there for a while, but this is going to be the photos that Paul actually took. And these photos have been out here for over 60 years. And according to their testimony, they actually saw this craft when they came back out to take these photos. The craft was there, and then it actually tilted up on its side and it actually flew away. And she said it flew away at a speed and a rate that she couldn't even fathom, especially at that time in the 1950s. So here's going to be some of her testimony on that.
And then as it tipped, and when it tipped, it had that wind. It just come up like that, and it tipped, and just, I mean, it really went. It didn't have no smoke, no motor, just the wind onto it. And it would, I would say, right around the size of a big parachute, maybe a little bit bigger, but right around that size. It went fast. I've never seen anything go so fast in my life as that thing went.
And on top of all of that, there are newspaper articles about this event. It wasn't just something that happened and it kind of got swept underneath the rug. There were several newspapers that actually picked up on this particular case and put photos out there, put documentation out there, interviewed the couple several times, which was actually pretty interesting and amazing with all this that was put out there with this. And a lot of people actually tried to go in. Some people tried to debunk it as something being falsified, but there's no way they could have went in and done this, especially at their farm. And even at some point in time, Time magazine had an article on it too, so that was pretty amazing too. So this is something that's out there. There's only these 2 photos of it, but it's still pretty fascinating. And to this day, from what I know of, you know, the couple never tried to profit on this. They never said, well, let's make a movie, let's make some money. They just saw what they saw, reported it, and put it out there. And even to this day, people are still going out. It's kind of interesting and kind of celebrating. It's like a festival and stuff. So you guys, put your comments down below of what you think about this. I thought this was pretty interesting, and I want to at least bring it to your attention. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, stay tuned for the next video. Appreciate you. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I do appreciate the comments that you all leave too, because a lot of this stuff, it does, I guess, open my mind up to some of the stuff out there, and some people have some pretty intelligent comments and stuff. And I do want to thank a particular viewer, Sarah, for this. I put a video up probably about 3 weeks ago, as you guys see there, on the Rex Heflin UFO incident. Now, in this video, and I'll put a link down below in the description to the video, I had initially talked about him taking photos of a UFO, and it was a pretty interesting UFO case that's never been debunked. It was some of the earlier ones where we got some clear photos of a UFO. And for those of you guys that are not familiar with the whole case, Rex was out there and he saw an object and he took 3 photos. Now, in the first video that I did of this, I was only able to find 2 of the photos. So I did talk about in the video, he has a little audio where he did an interview and he said he was out and about. He saw this craft out there, long story short, and he got his camera out. And with that, he was able to take 3 photos, but I was only able to find 2 photos. And you guys will see how this is. Like I said, it's a whole case behind this and it's never been debunked, but there was actually 3 photos he took. So when I was hearing about the 3 photos, I couldn't find the 3rd photo, but I heard that there was a 4th photo too. So what you're seeing here is going to be the 3 photos that he took of this craft that he saw. And you guys see the shape of the craft, flat bottom, round top, typical UFO that we've seen over the, I guess, the last, during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and probably early 70s and stuff. But there is a 4th photo, and this looks like one of the ones Bob Lazar talked about, saying it had designed like a top hat and stuff, but I'll get into that in another video. But with this, like I said before, there is a 4th photo, and I'm going to show this to you in just a minute. But like I said, I do want to also again thank Sarah for this, because I wasn't aware there was a 4th photo, and she let me get some information on us, let me be aware of the 4th photo. So thank you, Sarah, and I appreciate all you guys that send me stuff over, because I can't do this alone. I do need you guys' help with this. But here's going to be a look at this 4th photo that he took. There you guys see it there. So long story short, as he took the 3 photos, he saw the craft shoot down, I think it was about a mile and a half down the road, and he saw this black vapor smoke. So he drove about a mile down and he was able to capture the photo you see here. It seems like the craft was there and it shot off, and this is kind of the vapor smoke. He said it was a purple blackish, and he had a clearer photo, but this is the clearest one that I can get of this. So you clearly see that if this photo here is authentic and legit, you can clearly see that it's kind of the shape of the craft, and he said it was a black purplish smoke. So I don't know if the craft, I'm not even going to try to explain what the craft is. So you guys put down in the comments what you think, but you can clearly see some kind of smokish around the craft. That's the best way I can describe it. Basically having the structure of the craft when it took off. Now, what actually transpired and happened there, I don't know. We don't have a color photo because it was in the 50s when this was taken, but it's clearly resembling a lot to the shape of the craft of the 3 photos that he took before. And you guys can see that there. Pretty interesting stuff. Like I said, I don't know why this 4th photo hasn't been talked about more in ufology, and this hasn't been revealed more. Maybe this was something that was kind of pushed under the rug, or people's like, oh, that's not important. But I wanted to show this to you guys because this is important if this photo is legit, that he took this 4th photo in this craft when it took off, and he went down the road, like I said, about a mile or so, and he saw it, and he said it was a purple blackish smoke around. It's more black around than purple around the other areas of it. But if you look at this, it's just interesting. And if you try to lighten up the colors here, you can see a little bit more of the shape. And there you guys see this there. So I just wanted to present this to you guys about this 4th photo because it's very interesting. I wanted to get your comments on this. And like I said, once again, thanks Sarah for this, because she let me know that there was this 4th photo for it. So you guys put down in the comments what you think about this, because I've never heard of a craft leaving smoke or leaving a smoke shape of the craft when it actually left off. But we don't know what these things can do, and you know exactly what this craft was, if it was a ARV, alien reproduction vehicle, or if it was extraterrestrial or interdimensional. I don't know, but I do rely on you guys to put your comments down below in case someone comes across this video sometime in the future. They can at least look in the comments and see what some of the people are saying, and someone may know what this craft did, why it left that smoke there. So if you do, put it down in the comments or just take some guesses. I don't know. I don't care. I just want to hear you guys' feedback on this, because this is a pretty interesting photo if this is 100% legit, and they say it is. So trying to find all the sources stuff for us. When I have that, I'll update you guys on that. But pretty interesting stuff that we see here. So leave your comments what you guys think about this. Now we're going to get into a couple of photos back from the 50s and stuff. Now, so what you're seeing here is a photo that was taken in 1952, and there's a reason why I'm showing you this photo. I had never seen this before. I think I looked at it for a second, then I saw that craft there, and I was like, wait a minute, that somewhat looks familiar. So you can't really see it that well until you start to kind of zoom in and stuff. But I've always said before that the images from the 1950s and 40s and even early 60s were some of the best ones, because it was a little bit harder to fake that stuff. I know that there's some controversy behind Billy Meyer stuff, but that's a whole nother video we'll talk about. But this particular photo right here and the image of this UFO reminds me of some stuff that I've talked about before. You guys remember the McMinnville, if I can say that 100 times without trying to be tongue-tied. Remember that incident? I did a whole video talking about that, but this craft looks similar to that, and I have some images that's going to probably blow you guys' mind that you've never seen before, and I just came across them not too long ago. And if you guys aren't familiar with that old incident, I'll link something at the end of the video where I went through this whole incident where this farmer's couple saw this craft. She went in and she got her husband, and he went out, and luckily he was able to get 2 photos of this. And these people never tried to prosper on what they saw or anything like that. And I did a whole interview, I did a whole video and stuff on that. I had her interview and stuff in there, but these are some of the photos that you saw from it. It was in the newspaper. They had it in several papers for a while. They even had it in Time magazine for a short period of time, and I thought that was very interesting and amazing that this was out there. And this is some of the photos that we had from it. Now, what I find very interesting about this is that someone else saw this craft, and the couple that saw this craft did not want their information identified when they were reviewed or interviewed about this. They had some photos of it, and they had more photos, but what I'm going to be showing you is some of those photos they took. And this is very interesting, because what you're seeing here was an interview, and I'll talk about the interview in just a minute. I have audio for the interview too, of a couple that saw a UFO. They saw it twice, and they took some photos, and these are some of the photos that they took, and I have close-ups of these photos too. Now, this is interesting because this was a low-flying UFO, or if they want to say UAP now, but I'm still going to say UFO. But we have photos of this low-flying UFO, and then I even have a video interview where the person who has these photos talks about it. But here's going to be a close-up of these photos right here. Yes, and what you guys just saw there was photos of a UFO that someone took that is transforming and morphing, sort of say. You guys saw that first photo there, then you see this photo here. It seems like something just kind of popped out the top of it as this craft was descending down, and here's kind of a close-up of that. So we've thought about these craft probably being able to shape shift or kind of morph or transform a little bit, and we're seeing evidence of it here. And what's even more interesting is when you look at this photo up close, you can see, I'm not going to say it's vents underneath, but there's something underneath it. This could be part of the propulsion system or something for the craft. I don't know exactly what it is, and I'm not going to try to guess on it, but if you guys know, are familiar with it somewhat, I've heard something, put it down in the comments. I'd like to know about that. But this isn't the only set of photos that I have on this. There's more photos too. So these other photos you're going to see is that they saw the craft again, and they filmed it in a kind of a woods area, so you guys can get kind of feel and kind of judging how big the craft is. So you guys see this right here. This is one photo here, and you see the craft here descending again. Now, like I said, this couple that has this photos or had these photos did not want their information to be out. They, from what I was told and what you'll hear in some of the video clips, is that they had money and they didn't really care about that. And they were kind of fearful when they saw it. It kind of freaked them out. You can imagine in the 60s or something, seeing something like this, and you're like, oh my gosh, and you happen to get photos of it. And there's even more photos, a couple more photos I'm going to show to you that show the same craft, and it does seem to be changing shape or shape shifting or morphing in some sort. Here's another photo of it underneath it. Now it does seem to be more flat on top in this photo here, and then as it was told, the craft kind of went into the woods and they got this photo that you see here. This is the first time that I've seen this many photos by the same people and of the same craft. And like I said, the information of the people has not been disclosed. I found some information as far as the photos go, but the people that were putting it out didn't want their information to be out there for God knows what reason, but I can understand that. So I don't know what to think of this. I thought this was very interesting, and I'm going to show you guys in just a minute part of the interview. And here the craft is kind of descending off before they didn't get any more photos of this particular craft, and this is very interesting. Now, the interview you're about to listen to was conducted by Wendell Stevens, Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Stevens. You guys, if you're not that familiar with him, he's one of the pilots that was getting some photos of what he called the ARV, the Alien Reproduction Vehicle, and then also of UFOs too. And he's got books out there too on UFOs. So I'll try to find some on Amazon and put the links in the description if you guys want to check them out. I need to get them myself because I heard these books are pretty interesting and they've got a lot of stuff in there about UFOs and stuff. So what you're getting ready to hear, and this is one of the photos that he took of what he considered to be an ARV, or Alien Reproduction Vehicle. But what you're going to hear right now is going to be the testimony from some of these photos. So I'm going to quit my yap and I'm going to let this play, and I'll be back in just a minute.
As far as I know, no one has ever seen these photographs except for the people I've described. Here's like this one's flying directly over the house.
Right over the house.
Right over the house. Here it is with the top of the capsule raised. He said that capsule went up and down on top.
Changed elevation. Sometimes it was higher, and sometimes.
Well, you see in this one, there's no top to the thing. This is going over the house also. This is the same photograph, but it was further over the house. See, that's going over the house. He took another picture as it got over the house.
That's interesting.
And then as it went out in the field, it elevated this little thing on top, a bubble on top.
That accounts for some of the changing shapes that we get reported. I see.
So there you guys go. I think this is the first time that we've gotten photos of a UFO that has changed shapes and got it from the same person, and we see it in the different shapes that we see here. We see it in shape 1, we see it kind of morph and stuff. So I don't know if as they descend down, affecting Earth's gravity, things change. I'm not even going to try to guess on that, but you guys put down in the comments what you think about this. I think this is one of the more interesting cases, and I don't even know what to label this. We're just going to call this the morphing UFO of the 60s or whatever. But if you guys have heard more about this or something like this, put in the comments so we can kind of research and backtrack and try to get some more information on this. What I have is kind of what I'm showing to you guys here. So if you like stuff like this, also let me in the comments, and I'll try to do some longer format videos. And I always try to look at the comments too. So you guys don't forget to like, subscribe, please share this with your friends trying to get this stuff out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate you guys watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're jumping straight into today's video. So there is some footage floating around right now of a UFO. Someone took this year. It was July 21st of this year. And here you're just seeing a couple of screen captures. So I'll show you the video in its entirety for this. It's pretty short, but it's very interesting. And what I want you guys to pay attention to is some of the detail of this craft that they took with this. Like I said, it was taken in July 21st of this year. It was taken Sunday morning, and this is going to take us over to Brazil when this video footage was taken. I'll put a link down below in the description if you guys want to check out the full details and stuff, but I want to show this to you guys and let you know. One key thing about this one is that the video footage is clear. It's clearer than some of the ones we've seen before, because we know that cell phones don't take the best video footage at all. But this one was taken with a Nikon B700 camera, which is why the video footage is going to be a lot clearer than what you see if anyone just randomly saw it with their cell phone. Now, we know when people see these craft, it stuns us and we take a video footage of it. This one's going to be pretty clear. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is it looks like the craft is morphing or changing shape somewhat, or it may actually be turning too. You'll see this in the video footage here, but I want you to pay close attention to that, and then I'll just slow it down a little bit to show this to you, what I think that this craft may be changing shape and stuff. with it. So I'm gonna quit my yapping. Like, see right there, it looks a little bit different than the one I showed you a few seconds ago. So let me quit my yapping and show you this footage, and I'll be right back. All right, and there's the footage, but what I want to focus on is, it looks like here, you guys can see it here, the craft is changing shapes, morphing, shifting, transforming a little bit, whatever you want to call it. But that was one of the important things I saw with this video. Now, when he zoomed out, I thought he was zooming in and out, and that could have changed the shape of the craft, but that was highly unlikely with that type of camera that he used to shoot this video footage. You guys see here, he's kind of moving around a little bit. And at certain points in times, the craft does, even you see right there, it looks like it just changes shape. Like it goes from somewhat of a thin shaped craft to like it enlarges somewhat. And I'll zoom in on this so you guys can see this, because I really want to hear you guys' opinion on this. I could be, like I said, just looking at this at a different angle and trying to make it to be more than what it is. But right here, you guys see the craft does look like it's a little bit larger than it was when he first filmed it. And zooming in a little bit, you guys can see something black on the front. I'm not sure what to make of that at all, but I know that someone in the comments, you guys, I usually have someone that pretty much knows something or can give us a pretty good guess about what they may think that that is. And then looking back at some of the footage you guys see there. Now, I think this is more the camera just kind of moving around, him trying to focus in on it. But this right here, you see that? Looks like it almost transformed or morphed to where it would have some wings or something on the side of it. Now, the craft didn't shoot off or dart off anywhere, so I don't know why it would change shape like that. But you guys, look at this here. I thought this was one of the more interesting shots to look at right here. And I don't know what to make of this or think about this. I know that previously we've heard of people talking about some of these craft actually changing shape or being from the dimension. And because of that, you know, there's all kinds of things behind that. I'd put it this way. I'm not going to even say I'm an expert. I try to get on that. But there you can see there, it went back to its original shape. So I'm not sure what to make of this, but I wanted to present this to you guys. So put down in the comments what you guys think about this. And if you have some more footage or information, put that down there too. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate you guys watching. All right, guys, and this last one here is going to be very controversial, but I had to look at this several times on the big screen. So basically, this person was out and they were looking on location, looking to film a music video and stuff, and they filmed this with an iPhone 7. So that shows you how old this video is going to be, but it was filmed in slow motion. So I'm going to play it in its entirety. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to point out what I saw as far as the 5, I think, objects I saw. I think there's supposed to be like 7. But I saw about 5, so I'm gonna let it play first to see if you guys can see this. There's kind of 1 or 2 at the very beginning, but you have to look at it really, really close to see this. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this video footage. Like I said, it's very difficult to see. They thought they were bugs at first. Like one just flew by, there's another one that just flew by there. And then that's 2. That's 3 that just flew by. I'm seeing it because I've looked at it before. There's gonna be a 4th and then a 5th one, if I recall. I know the 4th one's coming up, and the 5th one's gonna be the one that's gonna actually go from the left to the right and then go behind the mountain. But it's very difficult to see this, but it's actually there. And this is in slow motion, guys. You have to remember this. This was actually slowed down. Like I said, I'm gonna come back to this, and I'm actually going to play it again. I'm actually gonna have pointers so you guys can see this, because I saw 5 objects when I actually put this on the big screen. And there was the other object. You probably didn't see that. So I'm gonna play this back again, like I said, and I'm gonna point out a couple of things because it's very interesting. I think this video was actually put out there and then it was lost over time as everything else goes. Channels were up, they were down, video got deleted and kind of got played around with. But there were 5 objects that I counted, but someone said there were actual 7 objects. And I'm just letting this play in case you guys see it, because when I go back and point out these objects, you're gonna be like, oh, that's what they were talking about. So let me go ahead, let's replay this again. I'm gonna point out the 5 that I saw. All right, y'all, pay close attention to these pointers. This is gonna be quick. I did slow it down some though. I counted about 6. So you'll see one there. That's what you're looking for. There's another one there. There's another one there. That's 3. You guys may see more, I don't know, but I've counted 5. But see, there's another one. That's 4. Then there's 2 more that I saw. Now they said 7, so I probably missed one. So you guys, if you can, put down the timestamps in the descriptions where you're seeing them at on this last part, because it's gonna be good to identify these. Here's another one. That one was hard to find. That's 5, and then it's the 6th one. And I think this last one that I saw goes actually behind the mountain, then it comes in front of it. It'll take us just seconds. I did slow this down. This is slower than the original slowed down version, because I wanted you guys to really be able to evaluate this. So put down in the comments, like I said, if you see anything, put a timestamp. It's just putting the number and then a colon and stuff there, and like 10, like 10:10, something like that. You can put down there for that. And this last one's gonna come up. You're gonna see it in just a second. Like I said, there could be more in here that I did not see. That's why I'm depending on you guys. If you see any more, let me know. So I counted 6, and the 7th one is gonna come up in just a minute. Here it comes. Bam, right there. So that's 6 that I've counted. That one actually, I think, went behind the mountain, actually flew forward, or behind this big hill and flew forward with it. So you guys may be seeing more. Let me know down in the comments what more you saw, if you saw any other ones anywhere else, and maybe we can revisit this at another point in time. But this is a very interesting video. I think this is the first one where we've seen several objects that are actually up close. I mean, we've gotten dash cam videos before and all that, but this one's actually pretty clear. So people want clear videos, kind of this is what you have right here. You do have some stuff here that we can actually see that's pretty clear. This is with an iPhone 7, if I recall from all the information from this. So it was still pretty clear enough for us to be able to identify, and it's not just a blur. If you screen capture it, freeze the frame and go in and zoom in, and it is blurry, but once you do see that, you will see that they do look saucer shaped and they are metallic. So it's very, 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 very interesting footage that we have here. And like I said, this is several years old. I was taking about an iPhone 7, so that was what, 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago or something like that. So put down in the comments what you guys think about this and then the other videos as well. And as I get more information, of course, I'll always share it with you guys. So as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Let's get some more comments on this. Let's see if we can kind of get this kind of viral so people can start looking back at this. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. So I have a pretty interesting video clip to show to you guys. It's kind of choppy and cut up, but I want to do the best I can to present this to you guys. This video was taken in Hawaii. It was an island that was in Hawaii, and it was taken September 1st of 2015. So it's a pretty about 9-year-old video taken with the cell phone. And the video basically description was that someone or family saw a UFO and they sat there and they filmed it. And this is going to be the footage right here. Look at this. The craft sat there for a minute. And as they zoomed in, of course, it's going to be distorted, guys. So I don't want to hear the potato phone thing. But look at this. Looks like there's a hole or something in the front of this. This looks to be somewhat of a drone of some sort. And it kind of is tilting at an angle, as you guys seeing it fly, that we know sometimes they do that. But look at the detail on this as you zoom in on this. Now, like I said, this could be a drone. It could actually not have anything or anyone inside of it. But I couldn't get the calculations or anything on the size of it based on basically where they took it from, because it's not that close to the trees. But look at this thing flying around. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard about this. No one's actually named this or given it the Hawaii UFO or anything. But look at the detail on this. Look at the top of that. And I slowed this down so that a lot of you guys can look at just some of the detail of this right here. That's what kind of makes me think it may be a drone, but I don't know. I don't know if there could be occupants inside of it, but I figured I would show this to you guys to see if anyone had heard anything about this. So there it is there. I kind of slowed this down and they zoomed in on it. And normally when this happens, when these UFOs or drones or UAPs, when they see someone filming, they shoot off, they fly off. This one didn't. I couldn't get the whole video. I'm still trying to search for it and find it, but I couldn't get the whole video clip. But what I have is what I'm showing to you guys right here. And look at the side, that's another side. So it seems like this is another angle. I just actually just took a picture of the side of this and wanted to show you another angle of this craft. And I've never seen anything like this. Now, this could be a craft that we saw at some point in time. It was just too far up to get this much detail on it and flying this slow. But look at this. I don't know what to make of this. So I figured I would show this to you guys, because it does have some pretty unique colors. Most of the time we see these UFOs this close, they're really smooth and they usually just have one color. They're metallic and they don't have this much detail or shape or anything on it. But this one does, which makes me think that it could possibly be a drone. But here's going to be another, I guess, moneymaker shot there. I don't know what that is in the front of that, but it looks like it has a hole or something in the front of it. But this is also the other side too. And this side looks to be a little bit different than the previous side that I showed to you earlier. And it could be just that it's tilting at a different angle. And it could be, like I said, this is kind of distorted a little bit. It's not the best photo in the world, but it was 2015. No one had the best photos, and it looks like they were just using kind of a standard Android phone when they took this video. But to get this right here, I think is pretty amazing. Can't call this swamp gas. So anyway, guys, put your comments down below what you think about this. I thought this was pretty interesting. I wanted to show this to you guys. I didn't want to drag this out long and try to do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. But let me know down below in the comments if you heard about this and if you've seen this before, because this looks pretty interesting from different angles and stuff. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your friends, guys, and stay tuned for the next video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. See you next video.